Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Valsa Williams with the midday news. The headlines. India, New Zealand announce free trade deal. Prime Minister says agreement will set stage for doubling bilateral trade in 5 years. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goel says the deal will bring opportunities for farmers, entrepreneurs, students, women and innovators. Government asserts there are no plans for urbanisation in Aravalli region, says its sole and exclusive focus is on protecting the range. National Commission for Women launches SHAKTI Scholars Young Research Fellowship on women-centric policy issues. And several flights and trains experienced disruptions due to dense fog conditions in Delhi-NCR. India and New Zealand have successfully concluded the historic, ambitious and mutually beneficial Free Trade Agreement (FTA). Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his New Zealand counterpart Christopher Luxon announced this today. Mr. Modi today held a telephonic conversation with Mr. Luxon. The negotiations were initiated during Mr. Luxon's visit to India in March this year. Prime Minister Modi has said the FTA between India and New Zealand has set the stage for doubling bilateral trade in the coming 5 years. In a social media post, Mr. Modi said the India-New Zealand partnership is going to scale newer heights. He said India welcomes investment worth over $20 billion from New Zealand across diverse sectors. In a social media post, Mr. Luxon hailed the decision, calling it a landmark trade deal between India and New Zealand, introducing the 95% tariff on direct export to India.
Today is a big day for New Zealand. We have just concluded a free trade agreement with India. Now, this may not sound like a big deal for you, but trust me, it really is. This is a landmark trade deal, reducing or removing tariffs on 95% of our exports to India. Of course, that makes it easier for Kiwi businesses to sell more of what we produce to 1.4 billion customers and one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Briefing media in New Delhi today, Union Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goel said the FTA will build various opportunities for farmers, entrepreneurs, students, women and innovators by building trade. Mr. Goel asserted that the FTA reflects the growing strategic importance of India in world geopolitics.
This is a free trade agreement with New Zealand, which will not only include trade, education, R&D and innovation, services sector in a very big way, tourism, sports, particularly to benefit our farmers and dairy through technical collaboration, which will help them upgrade quality, productivity, and therefore the incomes of our farmers and dairy persons.
With the strong and credible foundation provided by the FTA, both the Prime Ministers expressed confidence in doubling bilateral trade over the next 5 years, as well as an investment of $20 billion in India from New Zealand over the next 15 years. Our correspondent reports that India-New Zealand economic engagement has shown steady momentum. The bilateral merchandise trade has reached $1.3 billion in 2024-25, while the total trade in goods and services stood at approximately $2.4 billion last year.
The free trade agreement stands out as one of India's fastest concluded FTAs aligned with the national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. The free trade agreement will significantly strengthen the investment partnership between the two countries. New Zealand has committed to facilitate investments of $20 billion into India over the next 15 years. The FTA will open skilled employment pathways through a new temporary employment entry visa for Indian professionals in skilled occupations with a quota of 5,000 visas and a stay of up to 3 years. The agreement will ensure zero duty on 100% of India's exports. It will benefit farmers, MSMEs, workers, artisans, women-led enterprises and youth while providing immense opportunities for labor-intensive sectors such as textiles, apparel, leather and footwear. The FTA promotes India's Ayush systems internationally, encourages medical value travel and positions India as a global wellness hub. With Dipendra Kumar and Anupam Mishra, Sakleen Akhtar for Akashvani News, Delhi.
Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Bhupendra Yadav has clarified that the government has no plans for urbanisation in the Aravalli region and that its sole and exclusive focus is on protecting the range. Speaking to a news agency in New Delhi, Mr. Yadav said several cities, including Phulera, Ajmer, Udaipur and Bundi, are already located in the Aravallis, which have been inhabited by humans for centuries. He added that the Supreme Court has defined the protected areas of the Aravallis. Mr. Yadav said, based on the definition, states are required to frame strict rules. The minister said mining activities are not possible in nearly 90% of the area.
Aravalli and the Aravalli Range, Geological Survey of India, Forest Survey of India, Ministry of Environment, Surveyor of India, by means of the Technical Committee, the definition that has been decided as per that there will be a need for states to make stricter rules and 90% of the parts will be out of mining activities. I'm telling you, quote unquote, wherever you say 90% of the parts cannot be mined.
90% में तो माइनिंग हो ही नहीं सकती है.
The minister further added that new mining is not possible in more than 0.19% area of the Aravallis. The National Commission for Women, NCW, has launched SHAKTI Scholars, NCW's Young Research Fellowship Program, inviting applications from young students and researchers to undertake policy-oriented research on issues affecting women in India. The fellowship aims to encourage multidisciplinary research on key areas such as women's safety and dignity, gender-based violence, legal rights and access to justice, cyber safety, health and nutrition, economic empowerment and labour participation. The fellowship is open to the citizens aged between 21 and 30 years with a minimum qualification of graduation from a recognised institution. NCW said the selected candidates will be awarded a research grant of 1 lakh rupees to undertake a 6-month research study. The students can submit their applications till the 31st of this month. The Defence Research and Development Organisation and Rashtriya Raksha University have signed an agreement to foster collaboration in the areas of research, education, training and technology support for defence and internal security. The MOU aims to strengthen the country's self-reliance in defence and internal security technologies in line with the national vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and the whole-of-nation approach during Amrit Kal. President Draupadi Murmu has granted assent to the Sustainable Harnessing and Advancement of Nuclear Energy for Transforming India SHANTI Bill passed by Parliament during the winter session. The bill subsumes all laws dealing with the civil nuclear sector and also opens it up for participation by private players. The Shanti Bill repealed the Atomic Energy Act of 1962 and the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act 2010, which had proved to be an impediment in the growth of the civil nuclear sector in India. President Draupadi Murmu has also given assent to the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Grameen, Viksit Bharat Ji Ram Ji Bill 2025. The Parliament had passed the legislation during the recently concluded winter session. We have a report.
The Act seeks to establish a rural development framework aligned with the national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. A statutory guarantee of 125 days of wage employment will be provided in every financial year to every rural household whose adult members volunteer to undertake unskilled manual work. This is a significant push up from the 100 days period under the previous scheme. The fund sharing pattern between the central and state governments will be 60-40 for all states except the northeastern and Himalayan states where the sharing arrangement will be 90-10. Union Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has termed the act as the next step forward for Manrega, which is in favour of development and the poor. In a video message, the minister informed that more than 1,51,000 crore rupees have been proposed for it.
अब 125 दिन काम की गारंटी है.
Now there is a guarantee of 125 days of work and the provision of unemployment allowance has been further strengthened if work is not provided. If wages are paid late, there is a provision to give additional compensation. There is also a special provision under which administrative expenses have been increased from 6% to 9%. This amount will ensure that our colleagues involved in implementing the work, such as panchayat secretaries, employment assistant and technical staff, receive their salaries on time so that they can carry out the work properly.
The act replaces the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Manrega 2005. Adarsh for Akashvani News, Delhi.
This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download News on AIR app. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Delhi High Court today issued notice on a plea by the Enforcement Directorate challenging a trial court order refusing to take cognizance of the money laundering complaint in the National Herald case. The Delhi High Court sought a reply from Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi on the ED plea. The court has listed the matter for March the 12th, 2026. Earlier, the ED moved the Delhi High Court challenging the trial court order that declined to take cognizance of the money laundering complaint against Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and others in the National Herald case. Several flights and trains experienced disruptions due to dense fog conditions in the national capital and NCR region today. Talking to Akashvani News, an official from the Delhi airport said around 10 flights were cancelled due to low visibility at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. The Delhi division of the Indian Railways said the movement of several Delhi-bound trains was also affected today. It said around 17 trains were delayed by more than 3 hours. The Indian Meteorological Department has predicted moderate fog conditions till the forenoon and shallow fog conditions during the night today. A Mumbai-bound Air India flight AI-887 returned to the Delhi airport minutes after takeoff due to a technical issue. A serious glitch was reported by the pilot on the Delhi-Mumbai Air India flight. Therefore, a full emergency was declared at 6:40 a.m. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has sought a detailed report from Air India on the incident. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has criticised the Muhammad Yunus-led interim government, accusing it of empowering extremist elements, stoking anti-India sentiment and weakening democratic structures. In an email interview with the news agency, Hasina alleged that recent tensions were deliberately engineered. She claimed that Yunus had installed such elements in positions of power and released convicted terrorists from prison, adding that New Delhi's concerns about the security of its diplomatic staff were well-founded. We have more from our Dhaka correspondent.
Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has described India as Bangladesh's most steadfast friend and partner for decades, saying the relationship is deep, fundamental and will endure beyond any temporary government. She also said the secular character of Bangladeshi politics remains one of the country's greatest strengths. Responding to remarks by some Bangladeshi leaders referring to the Siliguri corridor, Hasina termed such statements dangerous and irresponsible. She said no serious leader would threaten a neighboring country on which Bangladesh depends for trade, transit and regional stability. On the upcoming parliamentary election scheduled for February next year, Sheikh Hasina said a poll without her party, the Awami League, would not be an election but a coronation. With the Awami League barred from the contesting, she alleged that Muhammad Yunus is governing without a single vote from the people and is now seeking to ban a party that has won 9 national elections through popular mandate. Naval Singh Parmar, Akashvani News, Dhaka.
Japan has taken a final step to allow restarting the world's largest nuclear power plant with a regional vote today. The decision marks a major moment in Japan's return to nuclear energy nearly 15 years after the Fukushima disaster. The Kashiwazaki Kariwa plant was one of the 54 reactors shut down after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. That disaster crippled the Fukushima Daiichi plant. It became the worst nuclear accident since Chernobyl. Since then, Japan has restarted 14 of the 33 reactors that remain operable. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India, New Zealand announce free trade deal. Prime Minister says agreement will set stage for doubling bilateral trade in 5 years. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goel says the deal will bring opportunities for farmers, entrepreneurs, students, women and innovators. Government asserts there are no plans for urbanisation in Aravalli region, says its sole and exclusive focus is on protecting the range. National Commission for Women launches SHAKTI Scholars Young Research Fellowship on women-centric policy issues. And several flights and trains experienced disruptions due to dense fog conditions in Delhi-NCR. With that, we end the midday news.